It's your River Valley Queens!
Hi, I'm Denise.
And I'm Julia, and today we're going to be talking about Zyon Grand. Super exciting, 700 over units, and this is a development jointly developed by CDL and Mitsui Fudosan. We noticed that a large percentage of you haven't clicked the like and subscribe button yet, so please help us to click on the subscribe button so that the YouTube algorithm can help us to push this out to more people who may find this useful. Also, it also encourages us to continue to push out such videos that will be helpful for you.
Thank you, guys. Alright, in today's agenda, firstly, we'll be talking about the RV collection, a little bit of throwback about what projects are actually launching. Also, where are the buyers actually coming from? Also, we will cover Zyon Grand fact sheet as well as unit mix, as well as service apartments. Is this a yay or nay for the project? And is there any oversupply in the River Valley area? And also, the most important thing, exit strategy for the project itself.
So let's take a look at the River Valley collection.
Alright, so for those who are aware, basically Rivergreen and Promenade Peak actually launched on the same day on 2nd August, and they're already 88 as well as 58% sold. The next project that will be coming up is Zyon Grand, that will be actually launching in October, and River Modern will actually be coming out shortly, as well as Parcel C.
Let's take a look at the project information of Zyon Grand. So we have a total of 2 blocks of 62-storey residential buildings, as well as 1 tower of 36-storey long-stay service apartment. So this service apartment, even though it sits on the same plot of land, it's going to have different facilities. And of course, it's also going to have restaurants, F&B, supermarket, and an early childhood development center. If I'm not wrong, this will be the first plot in the whole of the newer River Valley collection to have an early childhood development center. What do you think that means, Denise?
So this project will be catering to families with young children. So imagine parents can actually put their kids there and then head off to work. And then there's also RVPS nearby. So essentially, right, it's really catering to families who actually want to, actually have roots here, and then after that have kids that go into the childhood development center and then primary school around the area.
So Zyon Grand is located in District 3 and will have a total of 706 units. So this is going to be an integrated development where it will have direct access to the MRT station. One thing to note for this is that it has 595 car park lots shared by 706 units. This is more than 80% of the total number of units. And this is really, really interesting because this is supposed to be located in a car light zone.
Well, that's surprising because Midtown Modern and Canning Hill Piers only have 50% lots for cars actually.
Yes, so 50% of that will be only provided. And for this development itself, Zyon Grand, they have an early childhood development center. It's geared towards families. You typically may have a car with you. And for the bigger size units, they do take up more than half of the total number of units here. You do have 80% of car park lots provided. So that's actually very, very generous and well thought out of by the developers.
Okay, so if we look at the unit mix itself, the majority of the units are actually 2 and 3 bedroom types. So as you can see, the developer is gearing this project more for own stay buyers. As you can see, 1 bedroom only 1 stack, and then here there's already 41% of just 3 bedroom itself, and then you have maybe about 2 stacks of 2 plus study.
To find out which stacks or which bedroom type will be more popular in Zyon Grand, we'll be showing you the heat map of Rivergreen and Promenade Peak later on, so stay tuned to continue watching. Moving on to the location map. In terms of location, as mentioned previously, we have direct access to Havelock MRT, and you're only a few stops away from Orchard, Raffles Place, and the CBD. Also, if you drive, you're minutes away from CTE, AYE, as well as MCE, and a very short drive to Orchard Road, Tiong Bahru, and Robertson Quay. Lastly, for Zyon Grand, it is within the 1 km range to River Valley Primary School, as well as many other secondary schools and SMUs also nearby, ensuring that the demand for your development is going to stay very constant and you have a very large pool of future buyers.
Joe, speaking of Orchard, what do you see when you actually enter Orchard? What's the building that will capture you when you first enter the area?
Orchard Ion.
So basically, right, what we can see for Zyon Grand, it will be the Ion part of River Valley area. As you can see, right, it's flanked by 3 major roads. Havelock Road, Zyon Road, as well as Kim Sing Road. So these are all major arteries connecting this area to town, to Bukit Timah. Everyone who lives in this area will actually drive past Zyon Grand, and this is going to be a development that will tower above all the buildings because it's going to be 62 floors. This will definitely be the ion of the River Valley area itself. So every time people drive past, they're like, oh, what's that building? They will all know this name, and it will, in time to come, be a very iconic project in the area itself.
Because Zyon Grand is flanked by these 3 main roads, we are also surrounded by many buildings. So let me zoom in so that you can take a look at the distance block to block from Zyon Grand to all the other neighbouring blocks. Zyon Grand will be located directly next to Promenade Peak. However, only maybe Stack 3 and 4 may be affected in terms of the view. Stack 5, Stack 6 will have a very nice unblocked view. The nearest that they will be able to see would be Mirage Tower, which is approximately about 142 meters away.
There's quite a big distance apart, basically.
So you do have a very nice view from your unit itself.
Yeah, and set back to the neighbour, basically.
Yes, correct. For the other blocks here, the nearest you would be able to see would be an 11-story building, which is Harvest Mansion. On the other side, we have Tribeca, which is around 30 stories. After Tribeca will be Riviere, which is 36 stories. And then subsequently, we have Rivergate here, which is about 43 stories. Copthorne Hotel here, 30 stories. And then King Centre, 8 stories. So you can see that if you are on a higher floor, your view is going to be very much unobstructed.
So Zyon Grand is actually 62 floors. Like we mentioned earlier, it's flanked by 3 major roads. So it's going to be really kind of in your face. And not just that, it's also 62 floors, as I mentioned. It's developed by CDR, Mitsui, Fudosan, and also Nikken Seikei, who is actually world-class famous architects. Generally, most of the units are north-south facing, with south-facing facing the sea as well as Marina Bay Sands. And as you can see, it has this wavy-like kind of architecture outside, but most of the floor plans are actually really squarish within. And we'll jump in just right after.
Let's address the elephant in the room. Is Promenade Peak going to be blocking the views of Zyon Grand? Let's take a look.
Based on this floor plan, from what we see, maybe only Stack 3 and 4 would, but for generally all the other units over here as well as here, they have a very nice unblocked view of the area as well. So actually, I don't think it's something of a big concern unless you're buying Stack 3 and 4. And anyway, it's still a setback because you'll be seeing Promenade Peak's pool as well. And it's a very nice facade for Promenade Peak. It's really pretty to look at.
Singapore's tallest infinity pool comes from Promenade Peak.
That's right. So the level 40 views, part of it will of course face towards Great World City, but of course you have part of it that faces Promenade Peak. Other than that, you actually can see Ion, this is the north view. And then for south view itself, on the 40th floor, you can already see Sentosa, as well as like the Tiong Bahru Market and all that is facing towards the south. And if you're on an even higher floor, you can already see the sea.
So let's take a look at the side plan of the residential portion of Zyon Grand. So you can see here, this is grayed out because this entire area here is the service apartment, and the service apartment will have their own facilities. So you don't have to worry about the short-term or the long-term stay residents moving over to your development to use the facilities. And of course, the first thing that you see, which is very prominent, is here, which is a tennis court come pickleball court. And pickleball nowadays is very exciting. And then we have 2 blocks, and then you can see that the swimming pool are all found on the first level of the development. So for this development itself, for Zyon Grand, there are no ground floor units, and all the units start from level 2 onwards.
And also Zyon Grand does not have an infinity pool, but we don't know what they're going to put on the certain decks where it's actually not inhabited by people. They have certain jump in floors and all that, sky gardens and all. So all that will be released shortly.
So in terms of the building height, there are no ground floor units, but level 2 will start from approximately 22.83 meters above street level. So that's about like 7 stories.
To 8 floors. So it's elevated actually.
Yes, so it looks like it's on stilts. You have a very nice view when you're actually walking through the development, because when you look up, you're not going to be able to see the level 2 unit. And even if you get a level 2 unit, you do have quite a bit of privacy.
So let's address the elephant in the room. Essentially, right, there's going to be 5 condos in this area. 2 have already launched. In fact, my client secured a unit at Promenade Peak on day 1, and it was crazy exciting because his stack was almost fully sold out. What they did actually was manual balloting, in a sense that unlike the usual balloting where you have to queue based on the timing that you actually can go in, like what Rivergreen did, Promenade Peak actually had a different strategy of actually getting people to place stickers based on the unit type they want. And if there are more than 1 sticker there, the buyers will then have to do balloting within themselves. And we managed to actually get a unit without anyone fighting with us because we actually managed to deconflict all this in time before the closing. Do you think Zyon Grand will also do manual balloting?
I think that for maybe the bigger unit types, it may be by manual valeting, because we can see that the take-up rate for the bigger unit types are not as quick as the 2 or the 3 bedroom type. So they may consider to do that. And if it is going to be a manual balloting, it's very important to have a very clear strategy so that you can go in on balloting day or even on your booking day to ensure that you do not overpay for a certain stack and you are able to secure the stack that you want.
So let's take a look at the heat map. Let's take a look at what's most popular. As you can see in the development itself, a lot of the stacks are already almost fully sold. And I would say largely it will be the 2 and 3 bedrooms that are very popular. In Rivergreen, very similar, in fact 88% sold. They had very huge take-up rate across all unit types and all. So they only have very few units left for like the 3 bedroom and 4 bedroom as well.
So for Promenade Peak and Rivergreen, there has been quite a high take-up rate, 58 and 88%. So many people are wondering, where are these buyers coming from? And we've managed to pull out all these data to share with you today.
So basically, right, we actually pulled out data from where these buyers are actually coming from. And as you can see, there's a few things that actually stand out to me. Number one, the number of buyers, in fact, the largest pool come from District 19, which is your Punggol, Sengkang and all. And then also District 20, which is like a Thomson, Bishan. At a side note, there's also a lot of buyers who come from like the District 3, which is Tiong Bahru, Alexandra, as well as Queenstown side. But what I noticed that's really interesting is that largely most of the people that bought across every district is the 2-bedders. So 2-bedders are definitely very popular because they attract people from all areas, regardless of which district. You're either buying in for own stay, maybe you stay somewhere in Punggol and Sengkang with your family and you're a first-time homeowner, you want to stay near the city, or you're upgrading from maybe Clementi or even Queenstown and all that, and you want to stay near the city as well. So you can see 2-bedders across the board are very popular across every district in Singapore. Let's see if that happens also for Rivergreen.
So you can see for Rivergreen, because Rivergreen was a very, very exciting project because of the quantum. Even though the PSF was pretty high and it set many records for setting the highest PSF in the region for a 99-year leasehold property, the quantum was very palatable and it allowed many buyers from all over Singapore to be able to enter. So bulk of the buyers came from District 19, District 23, District 27, and then we also do have District 20 and 22 coming in quite close. And of course, this one was very expected, which is District 3, which is just quite nearby. So what we can see from here is not only the people that stay nearby Rivergreen are looking towards moving into this area or buying a property into this area. We have people from the further ends of Singapore, and they are all looking to come into this area in order to set up shop and to set up family and to be able to set up roots here.
Yep, so this is a bit different from Lentor because we actually did Lentor analysis previously. If you have watched our videos, you'll notice that most of the Lentor buyers like Hillock, Lentor Modern, all that, they all came from Bishan, Ang Mo Kio, Toa Payoh, like the areas
Yishun, Woodlands, everything which is pretty much nearby. But for the River Valley area, we have buyers coming in from all over Singapore, moving towards the city. And we can see this general shift that actually in the River Valley area is somewhere where people aspire to shift towards too. You don't only have to stay nearby to want to buy your next property here. There are many people coming from all around Singapore looking to buy a property here.
And across the board, we can see that happening in Promenade Peak as well as Rivergreen. I believe that will happen in Zyon Grand as well. So you attract the same type of buyers who are buying in either to move closer to the city or they want to set up roots closer to town area as well. Now back to what we mentioned earlier, there's going to be 2,800 units, okay? And what we notice is that most of the units besides Promenade Peak as well as Zyon Grand, they are slightly, along River Valley Road, all your St. Thomas Walk and all that. They're all kind of hidden in. Except Promenade Peak that's right here and Zyon Grand, they are flanked by major road. So what does it actually mean in terms of, when you're very iconic itself?
Before we go into that, let's take a look at some of the most popular condos in Singapore.
So as we can see, the major condos that are very popular are like Normanton Park, Treasure at Tampines, Park Clementes, Florence Residences. So Jubes, what are the similarities that all these condos actually have?
They are very, very visible. The moment you are driving on the highway or you're driving along the road, they are iconic condos because it's either that they're very, very large or they're just very eye-catching. So even for City Square residences, when you drive down Little India or Farrer Park, you see it. For Normanton Park, even far away, you don't even need to drive near it, and when you're on the expressway or even on the small roads, Normanton Park will definitely catch your eye. So all these condos are very eye-catching condos that you'll definitely see even when you are traveling on the road or through public transport.
So the thing is, why it's also popular for rent as well as for own stay. I mean, just imagine, you bought a new place in Normanton Park, you invite your friends. They are also interested maybe to move over here after they've visited your place, from a barbecue party and all that. So tenants are the same. Maybe they've stayed here, then they tell their friends, hey, I'm staying at this place. Come and rent a place here. It's really amazing and I love it. So the thing about Zyon Grand, when it's actually so kind of in your face and all that, it's very obvious. People will know immediately where you're staying, and Grab driver and all that, they know immediately where to drop you. So same thing, it will attract a lot of tenants and it will attract a lot of future buyers as well.
Because people will be driving by, or even when they go past the development, because it looks nice, they will check on Google Maps what development this is.
Yeah.
And then because it looks so beautiful from the outside, then they will go onto your listing portal to see, okay, what developments are for sale.
Yeah.
However, if it's going to be a development which is not so in your face, then of course you would have to rely on the algorithm and the filters of your map and your listing portals to then prompt you to show you what are the developments available in the area that you're looking at. However, for Zyon Grand, it's going to be one of those developments that people actually aspire to live in because it's so iconic, so eye-catching. So we all know that Zyon Grand is going to have 2 towers of residential development and 1 tower, 36-story, of service apartment. Are the service apartment going to actually help buyers and owners of this development to boost up their property prices?
So basically, right, if we look at service apartments, let's take a look at the rents of service apartments in the area itself. If you look at Fraser Residence, a 1-bedroom is going for about 7.7 and a 2-bedder is going for about 10K plus at Great Old Residences. So what this does, I mean, a lot of buyers are concerned, firstly, service apartments, will they use my facilities? So we've already established they have their own facilities. That's one thing. And one thing I realized that for service residences is that they actually help to set the bar for your rental. I mean, just think about it, CDL will be helping you to find, they'll be aggressively finding tenants for long-term stay because this is minimum 3 months of lease that they actually have to stay. So just imagine an expat who comes here, maybe on the first visit, they stay for 3 months. And then later when they are posted here long-term, maybe for a 2-year contract, where will they look at then?
When you're familiar with the area already, typically many people will just look nearby because they really enjoy and they know the convenience of its direct access to MRT, food is nearby, shopping mall nearby, I have restaurants downstairs, everything is very, very convenient. So either I continue staying at where I'm currently staying at, or I look for somewhere nearby and slightly cheaper.
So just imagine, right, with the price rents here for short term, just imagine if every month after staying here 3 months, just 10 tenants need to actually move somewhere long term and they want to find back something that has that ability to do long term. How much would you as a landlord want to price your 1 or 2 bedrooms for?
So if a 2-bedroom at a service apartment is going 10K a month, how much will you price your rental at your own residential unit for rent, which is just situated next door? Do you think that there's a potential upside here?
Leave a comment below and let us know how much you would rent your place for. So another concern that a lot of buyers would have is why there's only 1 bid for this land itself.
So when this news came out about the developer being the one and only sole bidder for this plot of land, we actually received many messages from our clients asking us, hey, there's no demand for this place, is it? That's why no developer wants to bid for it?
So the thing about it is that this land is actually really huge. If you look at it, it's actually almost more than twice of Promenade Peak. And they could build up to about 1,200 units, but the government stipulated there needs to be service apartment component. So not every developer wants to do service apartments because it's sunk costs that will take time to actually recruit back. That's one thing. And number 2, you need to have certain standards to be able to operate like a hotel or service apartment. CDL is of course one very sharp developer that's also into the hotel business, and that's why they were the only ones who actually bid for this land. And they actually got the lowest land price. So, Jubes, do you think that this will also mean that they'll price lower than all the other projects like Rivergreen and Promenade Peak?
So what's really interesting is that CDL bid for the land the earliest. The subsequent plots of lands were won by other developers for Rivergreen as well as Promenade Peak. So will they launch it the lowest? Let's take a look.
Personally, I do not think they will actually launch the cheapest because number 1, the 400 units of service apartment, right, they already sang, let's say, 400 mil to build that, and they need a couple of years to actually recruit back. So it means they can only sell that 706 apartments itself. It's likely that they might price it slightly higher.
So if we take a look at it logically, right, the highest floor is going to be on 62 stories. And maybe if they price it at, say, 3,600 PSF and we work downwards because the lower the floor level, you get a lower PSF, we may find ourselves with a starting price of about 2007, 2008, or even say 3,000 PSF for the lower floor units and the bigger floor plate units. So there may be an opportunity there for many of the buyers looking to buy into the River Valley area in such an iconic development. So Rivergreen and Promenade Peak were recently launched, and these were the starting prices. For all three developments, they all come with 1 bedroom or 1 plus study. And for Rivergreen, it started at about 1.2 million. For Promenade Peak, it came with a 1 plus study and it starts at 1.4 plus million. For Zyon Grand, it is going to be a 1 plus study. However, looking at the size, it is about 474 square meters, and that is in between the sizes of the units which are offered by Rivergreen and Promenade Peak. So just looking at this from an investment perspective, if you're looking to buy a 1 plus study in this development itself, you may be able to find a gem. However, there's only going to be 1 stack available in Zyon Grand for the 1 plus study.
What I realized about Zyon Grand, CDL, they're so smart. They're the first to bid the land, but they are the third one to actually launch. Why did they want to do that? It's because they wanted to see how Rivergreen as well as Promenade Peak would do. So what they are doing is actually fusing both projects together. Yes. You have the smaller quantum units that are more palatable for most of the market to actually absorb and buy in, like the 1 bedder, the 2 bedder, as well as the 2 bedder premium and all that. All these will appeal to mass market upgraders as well as first-time homeowners. So they have that good blend. And then you look at the 4 bedroom onwards, they're all like 1421, 1518 square feet. Just think about it. The 4 bedder at Promenade Peak starts from about 4.4 million. But let's say, because this one starts on level 2, it's likely that the 4 bedroom here might start around 3.9 or even 4 mil. So if you were buying something maybe on the 5th to 10th or 15th floor, there could still be some level of opportunity and price gap that we see in this project itself. So stay tuned as we analyze all the floor plans for you guys.
So for the 1 plus study, 474 square feet, as you mentioned previously, it's a very, very nice in-between for Rivergreen and Promenade Peak because of the sheer size of the unit. So if you take the size times the PSF, the overall quantum may be very, very attractive for buyers. So you walk in, it's an open kitchen concept. You have a tucked-in study here. Only thing to note is that for this study, it doesn't come with windows. And then you have your master bedroom and your bathroom here, which is also a Jack and Jill style. And one thing which is very, very interesting about this is that for 474 square feet, there is no balcony in this unit. Every space that you see here is all internal space. So one good thing about not having a balcony in this unit type is that because it faces a main road, it's going to be very, very noisy, and because it's just going to be your windows here, you can always install your noise absorbing curtains and the sound inside of your unit will be a lot quieter.
So now let's check out the 2 bedrooms itself. So for 2 bed, 1 bath, 528 square feet, there's only 1 stack. I noticed that there's also no balcony itself. As you enter, the kitchen is actually on the right side. And what happens is that both rooms are actually laid out in a dumbbell style. So this is actually what a lot of buyers prefer because they feel that it's a bit more efficient. Next, there's the 2 bed, 2 bath, 646 square feet, stack 12. So as you enter, kitchen and all that flanked on one side. And then this one does have a balcony. So I think this will appeal to buyers who actually like having that balcony space and all. And then you have 2 bed and 2 baths. Lastly, you actually have the 2 bed plus study, the 721 square feet stack 4 as well as 10. So this does have a balcony and also has an L-shaped kitchen. I think this layout will appeal to those who actually need a slightly bigger space and also own stay buyers, because as you step in, there's a study on the left side, and this study also doesn't have a window. So likely is most people would probably use it as a storage space, but here you have a very good size L-shaped kitchen and then dumbbell style laid out 2 bedrooms as well. So for all those who have missed it, we actually explained just now regarding service apartment, and we actually pulled out data of 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom rents for service apartments in the area itself. As you can see, it's 7,700 for a 1 bedroom and about 10,800 for a 2 bedder. So Jubes, if you're a 1 or 2 bedroom owner, how much would you lease your unit for?
I don't think it's going to be possible to be able to rent out a unit which is 2 bed 2 bath for 10,800. But for the sheer fact that Great World Residences is already commanding such a price, if it's going to be for long-term stay, definitely there will be some sort of a discount. And because Great World has set such a benchmark in the residential rental market, I don't think that we need to be too far off.
Yeah, and one thing is that this one is actually set by CDL as well because they're managing the service apartment. What happens is that homeowners who actually own the 1 and 2 bedroom, you actually have CDL to help to kind of hold the rents for you. So I think that investors who want to buy into this area, this will actually be quite attractive because you have a CDL kind of management style to actually manage and help pull long-term tenants. And just imagine every month, if there are going to be maybe say 5 to 10 tenants that are looking for long-term within the same development, and they realize long-term is actually a lot cheaper, maybe say 5K, potentially maybe a 1 bedroom could lease thereabouts.
So we've spent quite a bit of time talking about the upcoming new developments in the River Valley area and whether or not it's worth it for you to purchase a new 2 bedroom or new 1 bedroom in the River Valley area. However, let's bear in mind that there are many other existing developments in the resale market within River Valley. So if you're keen to find out more on whether resale is a better option or a new development is a better option, be it whether for own stay or investment, please scan the QR code to reach out to us and we'll be able to share with you this list that we have prepared, which shows you all the resale projects in the River Valley area that have 2 bed, 2 bath, 2 bed, 1 bath, or 1 plus study. And even if you're looking for a 3 or 4 bedroom, just reach out to us and we'll be happy to share with you this list that we have prepared. So for the 3 bedroom, let's take a look at the 2 smaller ones, 818 square feet as well as 861 square feet. 818 square feet, only 1 stack. 861, we have 2 stacks, stack 3 and stack 9. So this one has an open kitchen concept. You come right in, you have your dining and your living, and you have a balcony here. All your bedrooms are all tucked on this side. You have your master bedroom with your ensuite, and then you have your bath here. One thing to note is that for your common bath, there is no windows for ventilation, but for your master bedroom, there is windows for ventilation in your bathroom. For stack 3 and stack 9, you have an enclosed kitchen. So this layout here is actually quite an excellent layout if you ask me. You come in here, you're able to open your door and to allow for airflow to flow in without sacrificing any privacy. You have an enclosable kitchen with windows, and you do have a glass wall here which allows for natural light to come in from the balcony. All your bedrooms are tucked in on one side, and this is a little bit more of a traditional 3-bedroom layout where all your beds are all facing the same direction. Both your bathrooms also come with windows for ventilation. So for the extra premium that you're paying, which is maybe about 50 square feet more, you get a tucked in kitchen with windows and a glass wall here, as well as both toilets with windows for ventilation.
And actually based on the price quantum PSF, let's say if we do a calculation, it could start from maybe 2.4, 2.5, 2.6 maybe. And I think this is really palatable for those who are upgrading from like a 2-bedroom or a 4-room flat, basically. I'll be doing a 3-bedroom resale comparison. So on the right side, we have Irwell Hill, also same size, 861 square feet, but non-harmonized. So for Irwell Hill residences, we have a unit that just sold for 2.64 million. So as you enter, you have a kitchen over here that's tucked in, and then a landscape living and dining space. And you have 2 good size bedrooms that can have queen size bed, but one of the bedroom can only have a single bed. Now, if we compare this to our Zyon Grand 3-bed, one thing is, yes, you get 3 very good size bedrooms with very comfortable sizing that can actually put a queen size bed. Okay? And one thing I like about Zyon Grand is that there's actually a window in the kitchen itself. However, personally, I actually really like this landscape living and dining space. So I will vote a yes for this. And furthermore, I actually don't really like this fins that is actually the facade of the building. I feel that this fins sometimes, if I'm staying on a high floor and I look out, then I'll see a lot of the white color fins and all that. And I'm also worried about dirt collecting on this fins itself. Do you think that dirt will actually be collecting on these fins?
Well, it very much depends on how the architect has designed the place as well as how the facade contractors will actually eventually build it. If there's going to be a slight angle, it may end up becoming quite a self-cleaning kind of facade where when rain and dirt hits, it will automatically just roll off thanks to gravity. We do not have too much information on that at the moment, but what we know is that if you were to look at the pictures of Zyon Grand, you will see that on every level there will be that petal effect. And on the top and on the bottom of every residential level, you will have some sort of like a fin which kind of acts like some sunshade. So within the unit itself, it may be a little bit darker. So if you look at Irwell Hill residences, if you're a small family, this may be more suitable for you. And when you come in, there's a bit more of a luxurious feel as compared to coming in here. It's a more standard layout.
So if I were to compare this with Irwell Hill, I might pick this layout because I feel that this may suit my needs. I like a lot of light into my unit itself. But let's see, Zyon Grand versus other new projects.
So let's take a look at Zyon Grand versus what are the other new developments of this similar size.
I've actually added in Rivergreen, and as you know, Rivergreen is already 88% sold. Currently, the units that are remaining is actually the 872 square feet 3-bedroom. So as you enter, you actually have a tucked-in kitchen, you have a bomb shelter, and you have 3 very good sized bedrooms. So actually what happens is that I really like this layout, honestly, but I'm just very concerned about the PSF because it's starting from 3,400. What if they are launching from maybe 2008 or 2009? Would Zyon Grand then actually be something more worthwhile looking at? Even though you are missing out the bomb shelter, I feel that this would still have that level of price gap if you're entering at a certain price level, 2.5 versus something that's 3 mil, right?
If you have seen many of our videos, we always stress the importance of having someone on your side that actually knows what your resale options are and what are your new launch options, so that whatever that you're buying, you do not overpay and you enter in at a safe entry price so that your exit next time will not be a challenge.
Because whatever you enter will also affect your exit strategy in future as well.
So if you're looking to buy a unit in Zyon Grand or anywhere in the River Valley collection, please scan the QR code to reach out to Denise or myself, and we'll be happy to take you on a Zoom call to explain our strategy. Moving on to the 3-bedroom Premium Plus study, you come in from here, you have a household shelter, kitchen tucked in on one side with windows, and then you have your dining as well as your living. And what you can see here is the study. So this layout is very, very interesting because when you come in, you actually have quite a nice wide view. It's sort of like a
4.85.
landscape living and dining that we are quite used to, except you actually do have a dining space here. And what the developer has done is that they have designed an additional study here with access into the balcony. This layout type will be more suitable for multi-generational families because you have 1 bedroom which is tucked in on one side of the house. However, even though you have 1 bedroom which is tucked in on this side of the house, the common bathroom is still situated here and you still have to walk across to use it. Other than that, this is quite a straightforward layout. You have your master bedroom, which is in the innermost portion of the house, and it's actually very wide. It's 4.1 meters approximately. And of course, both your bathrooms come with windows for ventilation. So anyway, let's take a look at your competition in the new launch market. We have Promenade Peak, which is 1033 square feet. You walk in here, you have your living and dining. If you watch our previous video analysing Promenade Peak, you will be able to see a video of this
Mac delivery window,
romantic balcony, which has a window here and a pull-out table that leads out from the kitchen. You also have a household shelter, and this one you have all your bedrooms tucked in on the same side of the house, facing the same direction. So the key differences between the two is that for Zyon Grand, it's a southeast facing unit. You do get kind of like a landscape living and dining layout with an additional study here. For this, there's no way for you to carve out an additional study space. For this layout, you could actually potentially carve out a study space here and use this as your dining instead. Both have very, very good options as to which one would be more suitable and which one would have a better chance of you seeing capital appreciation at the point of TOP. Please scan the QR code to begin this conversation with us.
We have compiled actually 3-bedroom resale units as well as all the new projects around just to give you a sense of the competition. If you want to find out more about all the competition in the area as well, scan the QR code and we're happy to send this to you. Okay, we have talked a lot about exit strategy, and truth to be told, as you can see, Zyon Grand is not going to be cheap. First owners who are buying into this project, are they still able to exit to people that want to buy from them in future?
So what we've done is an affordability check of a random District 19 owner who only wants to buy Zyon Grand only when it's completed so that they can sell their existing property and move into a ready-made property. And by then, the units at Zyon Grand will be owned not by the developer, but by owners such as yourself. So let's see, if you were to buy a unit at 3.2 million, maybe you would sell it at say 3.5, 3.6, or if you're ambitious, 3.7, 3.8. Let's see if they can afford it. So what we've done is we've taken the average purchase price of the owners and they purchased it at about 850,000 back then for a 3-bedroom unit. Assuming that they took a 75% loan, they will have loaned 637,500. And from now till then, from purchase till when Zyon Grand will approximately be ready, it will be about 12 years. So they have paid off about 208,000 of the loan. They'll have a balance loan of about 429,000. And let's say for a 3-bedroom unit, they were to sell at $1.9 million. And I'm taking today's pricing, not the future pricing of what £100 is going to be. So £100 owners, don't come and kill us. We're just being very, very conservative here to see how much you could potentially sell and cash out from your unit. Assuming that an owner sells at $1.9 million, the expected sale proceeds will be $1.429 million. And this will be sufficient for a unit's down payment as well as standby sums for a property price at $3.8 million.
Because at 3.8, actually the down payment as well as stamp duty required is somewhere in the range of about 1.1 plus 1.2 million. If they are going to cash out about 1.429, it means that they still have about 220k buffer. For example, if they don't do reno or basically they can cash out and still have some savings. So this means that it's actually very realistic still at about 3.8 million in future if you're targeting this price. If you have entered in maybe 3 mil, and even if you've entered in lower, that will be even better, right? As we saw just now, a lot of the buyers actually also came from District 3. We did one for District 19 already. Now let's see whether buyers in District 3 can actually afford it. So basically, if you'd like to find out about this exit strategy that we have done up, scan the QR code and we're happy to share with you on the affordability check of units in the area as well.
Let's take a look at the 4-bedroom with private lift. All the 4-bedroom types here all come with private lift. And you have your private lift entrance here, which is your lift lobby. The moment you come in, you have a very nice, wide, grand view of the unit itself. And you have a dry kitchen here, which comes with a wine chiller. You have a landscape living and dining. This is very, very suitable for multi-generational living because you have your junior master tucked on one side of the house and the other bedrooms on the other side of the house. The common bathroom here will come with a window for ventilation, as with the master bedroom. The junior master's bathroom does not come with ventilation, so that's one thing to note. You have a tucked-in kitchen here, you have a utility room, no household shelter, so this can be comfortably used as a helper's room because it actually comes with windows here, making it a little bit more comfortable for your helper if you do have a helper that's living with you. All your bedrooms are able to fit a queen-size bed, and one thing which is interesting is that the entrance walls for the bedrooms are actually hackable. So if you decide that you want to create a bigger master bedroom, you can have your master bedroom entrance come in from here, and then you seal up this portion here, and then you have this entire area to be a walk-in wardrobe or even a study area because you have this wall here which is non-hackable. Now let's take a look at your competition. Promenade Peak's 4-bedroom unit is also the same size, which stands at 1421 square feet. Let's take a look at the main differences. For Zyon Grand, it's the southwest facing. However, for Promenade Peak, the balcony faces south and the rooms face west. So you will have a very nice view of the sunset every day. Of course, I know that for some people like Denise, she's not a fan of the west-facing units. For this layout type and this layout type, the key differences is that you have a junior master which is tucked in on one side, whereas for Promenade Peak, all the bedrooms are all located on the same side. So if it's for multi-generational living, I would say that Zyon Grand is a little bit more suitable. For Promenade Peak, it will be for families with 3 children and you don't want to be segregated. You don't want to have to choose one sibling or one child to put on one side of the house. This layout type will be more suitable. So we've spotted a great opportunity in Zyon Grand because the key difference between the 4-bedroom in Zyon Grand and Promenade Peak is that for Zyon Grand, it starts from level 2. And for Promenade Peak, it starts from level 44. So can you see there's going to be a potential huge price gap for a level 2 unit and a level 44 unit between both developments itself.
Basically, based on the floor plan, they are both very similar, but because it starts on level 44, the price point is roughly about 4.4 million and up. Whereas because for Zyon Grand, they start from level 2. So we are estimating a range of about maybe 3.8 onwards. But honestly, if you're spending about 4 million, I don't think anyone wants to stay on a low floor. Most of them will aim for semi-high floors.
I will stay the low floor. I'll take the low floor.
But personally, for me, why I really like Zyon Grand is because I noticed for Promenade Peak, you get a good size, kind of layout, but then you're also blocked by this wall. So you can't really see beyond this wall. So it's not really that landscape. It's only landscape until this wall. So basically, you don't really see anything beyond that. And one thing is that, yes, you have west-facing rooms, which I'm not a fan of, and that's why I personally still really like this layout a lot better, because it's southwest facing, and on the higher floors you can see the sea as well. So I think buyers who are really looking for that lux factor, they'll aim for the Zyon Grand 4-bedders instead.
And even if you're looking for a good deal, it's possible, and there are opportunities for you to grab, because the units all start from level 2 onwards, so there may be a chance that it will start a very, very low PSF for the lower units, and the developer will load the premium and the price jumps on the higher floor units. So if you've watched till this point, thank you very much. Please hit the like and subscribe button for the 4 and 5 bedroom analysis for Zyon Grand, and what are your resale as well as new launch options in the area. Please scan the QR code to find out more, and we'll be happy to analyze it with you. So if you're here, you're probably wondering how much the 4 and 5 bidders are going to be priced, and whether the 4 and 5 bidders are going to have a higher PSF or a lower PSF. So let's take a look at how the other competition were launched at.
So as we can see, right, for upper house and all that, there aren't a lot of 4 bedrooms available. In fact, the 4 bedrooms now available are starting from 7 million because they are the bigger layout types. In fact, for Orchard as well as River Valley, people like the bigger floor plates because of that luxury factor. In fact, the 3 and 4 bedroom at upper house and all are super popular and almost sold out. And next, if we look at Promenade Peak as well as Rivergreen as well, they also said 2 and 3 bedrooms accounted for 82% of the sales as well. So I believe that, yes, developers might potentially even price the 4 and 5 bedrooms higher in terms of PSF wise.
Let's give you a short little overview so that you know what your other options are.
So we've already done Sky at Holland. That's in our previous link. If you'd like us to send it to you, do scan the QR code and we're happy to send it to you. And we have done Zyon Grand. Next, we have Penrith and Faber Residence, so do watch out for it. If you want a VVIP preview, do scan the QR code and get in touch with us. We're happy to share analysis with you over Zoom.
And with that, we've come to the end of our analysis for Zyon Grand. Super exciting development. It's going to be very, very iconic as to which units are going to be the ones where you are potentially going to have a very good upside in, or whether it's even worth entering into. Please scan the QR code to start a conversation with Denise and myself. And if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you very much. We look forward to hearing from you. We'll hear from you soon.
See you. Bye.